So hey everyone, it's Julia, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about the highly requested video of Piper Rockelle. I feel like I've gotten about 700 comments of y'all wanting to talk about it, and at first I strayed away from it because I was just like, I don't really know her. I don't follow teeny bopper influencers like that, you know what I'm saying? But once y'all started to really talk about it more and really ask more of it, I decided to look into it a bit, and it is definitely shocking. So I'm gonna give y'all my breakdown, what I think of it, and basically, yeah, so let's get into it. But real quick, I want to iterate that these videos are not meant to bash these kids. When I made my video on Eliana and Liliana, that point stands. I'm not trying to bash these kids. I'm not trying to be mean. Because these are kids, you know, they're innocent. It has nothing to do with them. I'm coming for the mom, okay? I'm coming for the mom. I'm coming for the adults in the situation, not the kids, because they're kids. They don't have control of a lot of things they do. They don't have as much control as we think they have. So I'm not coming for them. I'm coming for the parents. So I think most of y'all who watch my videos on these sorts of subjects, y'all understand where I'm coming from, but we have that tiny little minority that wants to be like, leave them alone. They're not your children. Leave them alone. They're not your children. Leave them alone. They're not your children. Okay, virtue signal. Okay, virtue signal. Okay, keep virtue signaling to me. Okay, like, I think a lot of y'all are kids too, so some of y'all probably just don't understand what I'm really talking about. So, hey, you know, you're young, that's what y'all do. But literally this video is to bring to light the perils of being a child star, the fact that a lot of these kids are not protected. If we ignore the situation, we're gonna have more Allison Stoners, more Jeanette McCurdy's, more Orlando Browns, people who went through the industry, went through a whole lot of crap. And even though a lot of these people have now made it out and are doing much better, they went through years and years and years of depression, sadness, confusion, everything like that. And it kind of brings me back to what I said in my Eliana video about the psychosocial stages of development. As a teenager, you're trying to figure out who you are. So there's just a lot. So let me get into it. So who is Piper Rockelle? So for y'all that don't follow these children, Piper Rockelle is a 14-year-old American YouTuber who began establishing her digital footprint at the age of 4. So she was posting on Instagram, posting pictures, posting videos, doing web series, doing all this stuff at 4 years old. So she has a really extensive resume for only being 14. Like, she's been in the game since she was 4. So very long resume. But at what cost? This long resume, all this work in the industry, what's the cost? So we're gonna get more into that when I discuss her mother. So Piper has over 8 million subscribers on YouTube, over 4 million on Instagram, and over 6.2 million followers on TikTok as of this recording. So she is pulling in teen land, okay? She has a lot of viewers on all fronts, and she has a huge audience, huge influence. I mean, literally the world is kind of on this girl's shoulders if you really think about it, because that means combined she has like 18.2 million across. So that's a lot for a teenager. So again, Piper also had a web series called Piperazzi, which basically was a reality show based on her. And then she moved to YouTube and began making content such as her making slime, playing with squishies. So, you know, real innocent, cute stuff. And then as she grew, her content also began to become more suggestive as well. She began to make videos about her ex and current boyfriends. And I have a lot of issues with that, because I feel like if teens are in relationships or teens are doing things that teenagers do, that shouldn't be blasted for the public, and that shouldn't be for so many people to see. Like, let them just go through those phases on their own. Let them go through it behind closed doors. They're young. Their brains are barely developed. Like, come on, like, well, the frontal lobe. So, you know, that's what I'm trying to say. Their frontal lobe's still in development. They're going through puberty. We're basically pushing it in our face, but at what cost to the kids? And so a lot of Piper's videos are really inappropriate for a 14-year-old. I mean, videos about her wearing a hot outfit and leaving him. My boyfriend reacts to my Fashion Nova swimsuit haul. Just really suggestive, like the poses. It's very much shock value. It's giving shock value. Her videos are meant to shock people. You know, her videos are meant to, you know, make people turn their head. And the video, the style is fake. The style is just a scenario. It's like acting, but it's just really distasteful to put your 14-year-old in situations like that. If you really care about your child's well-being, you're not going to put her in a situation where she's literally being exploited and literally prancing around, you know, for her boyfriend and things like that. And like also putting these teens in very stereotypical situations. I just want to go on a quick tangent real quick. When I was 14, I wasn't out here going through so much drama. Of course, I dealt with drama back when I was in middle school, high school. Yeah, of course. But I feel like Piper's channel is so stereotypical. a lot of teens nowadays are just living very average lives. Like, I feel like social media, while there's tons of teens doing a whole lot of stuff on social media that's like crazy, that's true, there's also a whole bunch of other teens who are just living pretty average lives. They just go to school, they're in clubs, they go home, they study, they're crying over their AP classes. I was crying over my AP classes in high school, okay? AP Bio. Like, okay, like, that's what most, I feel like, teenagers are dealing with. So I feel like her channel's so stereotypical. Oh, got a fake ID. Like, okay, first of all, why are you out here trying to get a fake ID at 21? And everyone's like, oh, well, it's just fake. Okay, here's the thing. Having these kids and Piper's squad and Piper herself making these sorts of videos that are fake, that are just for fun, but how is she going to be able to differentiate real from fake? They say real recognizes real. How is Piper going to be able to really differentiate real from fake if she's constantly always in a fake, you know, she's surrounded by fakeness, fake friendships, curated relationships. How is she going to be able to differentiate real from fake? You know, like, how is she going to know if someone's really genuine? How is she learning like the things about real friendship, real relationships, when she's always going through fakeness and always acting and always playing around and always doing this stuff that's just very detrimental to her development? Like I say, identity versus role confusion is one of the stages in Erik Erikson's stages of psychosocial development. That is a very pivotal stage because you're literally trying to figure out who you are. You're trying to figure out who you are versus what maybe the world wants you to be, or maybe like what people want you to be. Like, you're trying to figure out your voice. You don't know yourself as a teenager. There's a lot of things I just feel like teenagers shouldn't be involved in because you don't know yourself. So how is Piper going to be able to figure it out if she's constantly around fakeness? Again, real recognizes real, and to some people, she's probably going to look pretty unfamiliar. If you know that reference, drop it in the comments. I hope one of y'all gets that reference.
Your granddaddy recognized game.
Game recognized game, and you looking kinda unfamiliar right now.
Again, Piper even had a video of her pretending to be pregnant when she was only 12. So this is what I'm saying. It's like, you have so many young people watching you. Why are you trying to push like teen pregnancy 12 years old? Okay, she was 12. She was a baby in that video. Why are you trying to put that out there for people? That's just really distasteful. And I think that, you know, again, her mother, that is just very, why are you putting your child out there to be exploited like that, to be made fun of like that? It's just crazy. So again, I believe that Piper's mother is the puppet master and Piper is the puppet, but we're gonna get more into that later in the video. So next I wanna talk about Pink and Piper Rockelle. So the singer Pink back in late August called out Piper Rockelle's mother for all of her antics on social media. And Piper's mother claims that Piper is just following her dreams and that she's just supporting her daughter. But why do you have to do so in such an inappropriate way? Why do you have to do so much shock value? There are tons of young teen influencers even on YouTube that I've watched here and there. There's a ton of young, awesome teens that are doing amazing work and that are really putting out great, thoughtful videos about productivity, about fashion, things like that. They're doing age appropriate but awesome stuff. They're learning all these amazing skills because there's a lot of benefits to social media as a child. You learn a lot about business, entrepreneurship, time management, social interaction. You learn a lot. So it's good, but she's using it in such an inappropriate way. Why do you have to do it in such an inappropriate way that puts your child in a compromising situation and you got millions of people criticizing your child? Because a lot of people like to blame Piper, and that's the sad thing. A lot of people like to blame Piper when she's a kid, okay? Like, she's not in control of any of this crap. Blame the mom. Come for the mom, okay? Come for the moms, okay? So Piper responded to these claims in this TMZ clip, so I'm gonna play it right here, so watch this.
Statement that she made was like 100% not true, and this thing that she like said about my mom, not true, like at all. Like
Gosh.
I don't know why people think that. Like, my mom asked me, like,
Yeah.
you know, almost every single day, like, are you happy? Like, do you want to like keep doing this? And I always say, like, yes, I love this because I love making people happy and it makes me happy.
So I understand how Piper feels since she's so young. You know, you want to defend your mom. At 14, you're not going to really understand you're being exploited. I mean, there are a lot of kids out there who know what that means, but when you're in it, you're not really going to get it. And Jeanette McCurdy kind of alluded to this in her accounts of her childhood. You know, you don't really understand when you're that young. You don't get it when you're in it. It's when you're out of it is when you begin to think about it. I think a lot of these parents, they'll say that, oh, my child wants to do this, but I think a lot of times it's a silent guilt trip. A lot of these parents will probably like tell their children, oh, look at all this money we're making. Look at our life now. What would we be if you stop now? What would happen to us? And so I feel like a lot of these parents tend to like guilt trip their kids like that. They'll say, yeah, but come on, look at this, look at that. And Jeanette McCurdy again said that she was doing what she was doing because her family needed money. Therefore, the child feels inclined to keep doing what they're doing because they want to support the family. When you're the sole breadwinner, the sole provider for your family, that's a lot of pressure for a child that no kid should go through. But again, I think it just reiterates the push that these kids feel to continue doing what they're doing because they want to make mom happy. You know, and again, as a kid, you want your parents' approval. Whether you want it a little bit or a lot, you want your parents' approval. I still strive to get my parents' approval, my dad's approval at 23. I still want his approval, and I want, you know, it feels good because you feel like you're doing right by your parents. I think, you know, whether it's for a little bit of approval or a lot, maybe that's another reason why Piper feels the way she feels. So it reminds me of Lil Tay when Lil Tay said that no one was forcing her to do what she was doing and that she enjoys what she does, only to find out later that her brother was forcing her to say things in a certain way and her mother was condoning everything, even allowing Tay to be around people who did questionable things and did stuff like smoking weed. So, and even there was a video of this guy who confronted Tay and her family on a street corner, and the mom's out here running away. The guy's like, hey, you little Tay, right? And then the mom's over here running away.
You little Tay, right? You in trouble? You little Tay, right? You want to flex? Oh, I want to see you flex one time. I like that fly. Alright. She ain't flexing today.
No one's forcing me to do this. That's not true that she wants to make money off of me.
Like, is that not your 9-year-old child? I wasn't even allowed to talk to strangers when I was 9, okay? It's just crazy. So I'm not trying to say that their situations are the same, but again, the child will feel obliged to do certain things because they want to make their parents happy. They want to provide. Dylan and Cole Sprouse are also another example. They said that they acted because they needed money. And even Mary-Kate and Ashley as kids said they loved what they did, but as soon as they turned 18, they completely dropped out of Hollywood. I mean, that says a lot, you know, because they were doing it since they were literal children. And so when you've been doing it since you were a baby or since you were very, very young, that's all you know. So of course you're going to say, this is what I want to do, when maybe deep down it might not be. So I want to quickly go over who is in Piper's squad. I'm not going to really focus on any of the kids too much. I'm just going to mention who they are. Just know, if you're not aware, just know that a lot of these kids make the same kind of content. They're all under this same umbrella of like Piper and her mother and the squad. So these people are Lev Cameron, Jensen Ramirez, Eliana Walmsley, and Jenna Davis. And so that's all I could find. If there are more people, let me know. If there are less people, let me know. But that's what I found when I Googled it. So yeah. So now we're going to look at Piper's mother. So Piper's mother's name is Tiffany Rockelle, and she is 40 years old. Piper's mother is not anyone's favorite online, clearly, and she's not mine either, okay? Not a lot of people like this woman. And basically, Piper's mom has done a lot of questionable things. So I'm going to talk about this young man named Raegan. So Piper's mother actually assaulted a young man named Raegan back in 2017, and Raegan was only 17 at the time. So Raegan filed a report with his manager in order to have it on record. And so there's a whole report that was on the Dad Challenge channel of him basically saying what had happened. And he gave an entire account for everything from top to bottom. And I'm gonna just talk about a few things that he said in that report. So he said that Piper's mom began, quote, French kissing Raegan. So French kissing, like very, you know, bleh, all that, you know. Again, 17-year-old child. This woman is 36 years old, literally more than twice his age. So Piper literally pulled her mother's head back. And so this is a video that's on YouTube. I'm not going to put it in here, but you can look it up online. There's this whole video of her doing this. And Piper, who is 9 years old at the time, is pulling her mother's head back. Like, what are you doing? Why are you making out with this guy? Like, that's just disgusting that at 9 years old, you have to witness something like that. He also said that there was alcohol, that Piper's mom was offering everyone alcohol, including Piper, who was only, I reiterate, 9 years old. And so this is just really, really nasty and disgusting. And she was very drunk in the video. So she was inebriated, completely out of it, which shows me that she can't hold her liquor, and she's out here trying to get with a 17-year-old child. He then says that Piper's mom didn't stop trying to come on to him, kept trying to pull down underwear, and he eventually got away with the help of his friend Kristen Hancher, who was present at the time. So thankfully he was able to get away because of that. Raegan was able to get away from her, but it only kept worsening over time. She kept trying to come on to him at other gatherings, and so it's just a lot. And so I think it just goes to show again that this woman is really disgusting. This woman is very, 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 there's something wrong with her. There's something really, really wrong with her, that you're 40 years old and you're going after a literal kid. You want to be with a kid. Like, why? Of all things, like, yeah, just disgusting. This also makes me think real quick about Piper's father. There's actually a video on Piper's channel saying meeting my dad for the first time. And what was it, 13 years? I can't remember exactly the title, but I think that's, again, like, why are you exploiting family? Like, this is her dad, okay, that she's clearly not in contact with much, and you're trying to make it content. You're not Kris Jenner, okay? Like, like, you're trying to make this content. Like, why are you, like, this is just, oh my goodness. There's no privacy. It seems like Piper has no privacy. So I'm gonna quickly talk about Gavin Magnus. So Gavin Magnus is a boy that used to date Piper a few years ago, and his mother, Teresa, basically went off on Instagram Live a couple years back, going off on Piper, exposing Piper's mother, basically saying that Piper's mother's jumping out of cars. Piper's mother is controlling. She said that Gavin couldn't talk to other influencers, and that Tiffany would force Piper to cry on camera. And literally, so that reaffirms my point earlier of how Piper's not in control of the crap she's doing, because her mother is out here literally telling her cry, telling them, oh, you don't look upset enough, look more upset. She's not in control of her own content. Her mother is in control. And also Piper's brother is recording the content as well, which makes me question the brother, because it's like, yo, don't you care about your sister's well-being here? Like, I don't understand. Also, she said that Piper's mother would send controlling, manipulative, and aggressive texts to her son, and that she basically made their lives absolute crap. She was basically a very, very, very negative influence. So I'm gonna play a couple clips of that here.
Gavin's been around her a million times where her mom's making her cry. Cry to this, cry to that. Gavin's been told, you need to look like you're more upset. You need to cry. To continue the story, I called up her manager and I said, we are no longer going to be working with you, because I asked Gavin to show me all his texts. It was over after I saw him. Forget the text to me, the FUs to me, and all the horrible things and control that she had on our family that I fell for. You know, my daughter's bigger. You got to do this. Everything was about control, control, control. I don't hate Piper. I feel sorry for her. We will no longer be controlled by the Rockelles. We will. No. Gavin is friends with every single person now. Every single person that he was told that were off limits. I wish I could read you the text. I wish, calling kids hookers, defamating these kids' characters, saying boys that Gavin, that might be 14 years old, but Gavin is really good friends with, like Parker, calling them douchebags.
So as we can see, Piper Rockelle's mother is very, very problematic. She's a disgusting, toxic woman, and it just makes me wonder, and I'm not accusing her of anything, okay? I'm not accusing Piper's mother of anything. It makes you wonder what's going on truly in that household. You know, it makes you wonder, like, how much control is Piper really getting over her own life? If her mother's literally out here controlling a bunch of other people, and this is online, of people admitting that they've been controlled by her, who knows what's going on allegedly with Piper. So I think this is just very alarming stuff, you know? So the last person I want to get into is I want to discuss Clementine Speiser. So Clementine Speiser is a girl that used to be in Piper's squad, but she left the squad, and she posted a video last year detailing why she left the squad, and it was a very sweet video. She really extended her love to Piper, saying that she cares about Piper, cares about everyone in the squad, but that there were too many things that her mother was doing that caused her to leave. And so she even admitted that Piper's mother was curating relationships, forcing people into love triangles, forcing people into relationships when these are children, and Clementine was only 13 at the time. So again, another affirmation that Piper's mother is out here curating a lot of this stuff and Piper probably has zero control.
But my mom and I felt pressured and uncomfortable by Piper's team to do some of the things. For example, they tried to put me in a love triangle with a boy I didn't know, and I was gonna be that girl that has to fight over a boy with another girl, and it was just gonna be a competition to be with a boy, and it was just like really dumb. And I'm only 13. I don't think I should fake a relationship this early. Like, who wants to go through that at such a young age? And also, Piper's mom kept shoving confidentiality agreements in our faces, pressuring us to sign them so she could try to silence us, like everybody in the squad, so she could try to control the public story of every single squad member. And if they felt we didn't listen, they would punish us by not promoting us.
I really hope that Piper is okay and that she's not being ultra controlled, but judging by what I see here, it seems very, very, very questionable what she's going through and what she's being subjected to. So I just wanted to speak real quick on this journal article that I was reading, and it's entitled Child Labor and Online Protection in a World of Influencers. So I wanted to read an excerpt from that. And so this was written by Vanderhall, Vanderdoot, and Lizer 2019. And they say that children have been identified as particularly vulnerable to online manipulation, yet their welfare is rarely considered by technology and advertising companies. Furthermore, as influencers can often use attention-seeking behavior and attempts to attract awareness from businesses and brands, their endeavors can lead to social backlash, mental health issues, and even detention. And so again, we need to ask ourselves, what could this lead to? We see Piper's doing whatever she's doing now and she seems cool now, but what is going to happen to her 5 years down the line, even 4 years once she turns 18? What is she going to make of her life? What is she going to make of what she's been through so far? I guess time can only tell, but I just don't want her to be another Allison Stoner or Jeanette McCurdy 2.0. I don't want her to have to go through a breakdown like Orlando Brown did. Thankfully, Orlando's saved and he's cleaned himself up, so thank the Lord for Orlando being where he is. But you know, again, it's just very alarming. So yeah, that was basically what I had to say. This was basically my video on Piper Rockelle, my breakdown. Again, this video was just out of pure concern and as well as bringing attention to these issues, these social issues, and I feel that we need to discuss them if we want to see anything change. Again, they're never going to fully go away because the world is just the world. The world is disgusting, you know, but we need to do what we can to make things better for ourselves and each other. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. If there's anything I missed, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, again, thank you for watching and I'll see you all next time. Peace.